Hi, welcome along to another of my reviews of budget hotels in London and the big cities of the United Kingdom. And these reviews are mainly aimed at business travellers, but it could apply to anyone who just wants a nice, cheap, good quality hotel. Today I'm at the Travelodge at London Excel, and if you've not heard of Excel, it's a massive convention centre and conference centre in Docklands in East London. So it's about 5 miles from London's tourist district, from the West End. It's a bit closer to the City of London and the financial district, and it's very easily accessible via the Docklands Light Railway system or the Elizabeth line of the London Transport for London network. So quite easily accessible. There's a car park outside, which is handy, and it's also very close to an airport. It's very close to London City Airport, which is one of the smaller airports in London. It's the most central airport in London. It's the one closest to the centre, but it's mainly business flights. There's a lot of private jets and smaller flights that go to places like Zurich and Frankfurt. So it's clearly aimed at business people and people involved in finance. And we are actually just around the corner actually from the airport, so there is a bit of airport noise, which I'll mention a bit later on in my film. But anyway, let's get started with a tour of the room, and then I'll give you some more information a bit later on. Okay, so it's time for a tour of the room, and as always I start with the TV. I don't know why, I just always start with the television. Good points and bad points. The good point is it's an LG, which I really like, and that's the TV brand I have at home. And so it would be really good if it wasn't the fact that the telly is really small, it's tiny. So bad point for it being tiny. Round the back, the usual thing where there is somewhere you can plug in your USB stick. I don't think it's worth even bothering to try because the TV is so small. It's 22 inch. I didn't know they even made TVs that small these days. So yeah, extra point for being a good make, but loses a point for being a very small television. And fortunately the bed is very close, so that doesn't matter too much, and I won't be watching much TV this weekend anyway. Nice comfortable bed as always. They're always good in Travelodge. You've got that kind of picture, that ubiquitous picture that's everywhere. Wherever you go in a Travelodge, they have the same kind of picture. Nice chair. Now I need to just point out this isn't a super room, but this is a nicer quality chair because it's one of their new refurbished style rooms. So technically speaking it's not a super room, but it is one of the new style rooms. So I haven't paid extra for it to be a super room, but the chair is one of the nice ones that you would get in a super room. Then the usual desk with all the usual stuff. You never get a hairdryer in a standard room, but you can get one from reception. And the usual desk lamp and kettle. Pleased to say it's a metal kettle. They usually have these skanky plastic kettles, but this time it's a metal kettle, which is very good. And the USB charging points, which are handy, which you normally only get in a super room, which we've given in this room. And also a nice office chair to sit on as well. So some of these features are the type of features you would get in a Travelodge super room, even though this isn't a super room, which is good. There's no air conditioning built in, but they have provided this air conditioning unit, and I've tried it out and it's actually really good. I was very impressed. In fact, it's better air conditioning than what you normally get in a proper built-in air conditioning system. I'll turn it off for now because it's a bit noisy, but it is actually very effective, so I'm quite pleased with that. You've got the mirror with me, of course, and then a floor to ceiling window which lets in lots of light, which is good, and it gives me a good view out onto the car park as well. They've had to do this kind of frosted glass for privacy reasons because I'm on the ground floor and otherwise people will be able to see right in, so there's this kind of frosted glass. It's still not that private though, and I think that's just because it is the ground floor. But that's obviously why they've done that, just for privacy reasons, because the glass goes right to the floor. But you have got some really good quality blackout curtains. Then the usual, they give you some extra pillows and an extra duvet, and I certainly won't be needing that because it's really hot here at the moment. One of the good features actually is the window opens, which is quite unusual, especially in the modern ones. In the modern travel lodges, usually you can't open a window, but you can. Now that is why you can probably hear a lot of noise outside. I'll just close it, it's very stiff. But the window, normally it's for safety reasons. You can't open them at all, or you can only open them so far. And as you can see here, there is a sign in the window just saying it'll only open so far. I mean, you can't really jump out because it's ground floor anyway. But I think that will need to be closed overnight because we're very close to London City Airport, and I keep hearing planes take off every minute or so, and with the window open it's really loud. You probably heard a plane just now, so I will have to have the window closed, which means I'll probably have to have the air conditioning on because it is really hot. Usual problem that you get about look at that. I always laugh at this. I think it's funny. No matter where you stay in the world, even if it's a really good hotel, they only give you a few coat hangers, and it is basic. Just somewhere to stick up my football shirt, ready for the match at Wembley Stadium tomorrow, which is right the other side of London. And the only reason I'm actually staying in this hotel is because I booked it at the last minute, and I'm going to a big match at Wembley. Manchester City are playing Manchester United, and there weren't many hotel rooms available, so I've ended up in East London. But the match is obviously in West London, in North West London at Wembley. So you get all the towels, usual stuff. And there's an electric radiator as well, which I'm sure works fine, although I certainly will not be needing that tonight. Okay, we'll have a quick look in the bathroom. The bathroom is immaculately cleaned. There's no bath, there is a shower. Unfortunately, it's this type of shower. I prefer the ones with the flexi hoses where you can actually wash yourself down and wash your bits and pieces, which you can't really do with that type. All you can really do with this is wash your head. I prefer it when you can actually take the flexi hose off, but there you go. But immaculately clean. You can see, look how clean the sealant is around the edges. It is nice to have a bath, but in these modern travel lodges you usually only get a shower, and then all the usual stuff, the toilet, the wash basin, massive mirror with me again. Not much else you can say about the bathroom really. You obviously get your soap and shampoo provided, and a big light, and that's probably all you can actually say. But it's nice and clean anyway, that's the main thing. It's small but clean. Door entry, absolutely fine. If you've seen my other film about Manchester Ancoats, you'll know the hell that I went through with this flipping door mechanism. But that's all fine. It's a very new hotel, a very modern hotel with modern facilities and comfortable bed. And it's all you want really. I mean, it's basic. Let's be honest, it's basic. But it was relatively cheap. The bed's nice, it's really clean, it's got everything you want. The telly is rubbish, but I won't be watching much TV tonight anyway. Nice comfy chair for reading or whatever. And that's really all you can say about the room. There isn't much else that can be said about this room. But I will give you a few tips now about the area and other useful information about actually staying here. So don't switch off yet, because I'm now going to tell you more about the actual area that this is based in, and just give you some very useful information that you might want to have if you are thinking of staying here, because one of the issues is the actual area itself. The area is really nice, don't get me wrong. It's a very nice part of London. It's a very modern part of London, but there are some kind of issues. But I'll discuss those in a moment, so keep watching. And I'll tell you whether I'd stay here again, and I'll also give you some more information about the area where the hotel is located. So what are the good and bad points of staying in this hotel? Well, I suppose the obvious good point is it is fairly cheap. Let's be honest, totally honest. At the moment, no London hotel is cheap. Even the really sort of bargain basement budget hotels are still quite expensive for various reasons, which I do deal with in my other films. But as far as London hotel prices go, this hotel is quite cheap, so that's useful. It's very, very handy for London City Airport. But I think if you can afford to fly from London City Airport, then you probably aren't bothered about saving money on your hotel, to be perfectly honest, because London City Airport tends to be for quite rich business travellers. It's not like Gatwick or Stansted or even Heathrow. It is, if you like, it's the posh person's airport with private jets. So that probably won't be of much benefit if you're looking for a budget hotel. It is very handy for the Excel Conference Centre. So if you're coming to an event or a conference or an exhibition at Excel, then it's only about 10 minutes walk to the conference centre. In fact, probably a bit quicker than that. If you're coming as a tourist and you just want a cheap hotel for central London, then it's a bit more problematic. You are looking at realistically a 20-minute walk to the nearest train station. There is a bus stop outside, but then you'd be waiting around for buses. But you could hop on a bus and that would take you to the nearest station. The best station to use is Custom House, which is the station that serves Dockland Light Railway, but also the Elizabeth line. Now there is a DLR station slightly nearer, but I would advise going just that little bit further to Custom House, because then you can get on the Elizabeth line and that gives you very fast access into central London. So it's about a 20-minute walk to Custom House station, but from there you can be right in the centre of London in about 15 minutes using the Elizabeth line. If you don't want to walk that far, then there is a slightly nearer station, but then you'd be on Docklands Light Railway and it does take a bit longer. The hotel's got a nice bar and restaurant area. The staff were really nice, lovely people, they're really helpful. The rooms themselves are actually very, very good by Travelodge standards. It's been given a big refurb, so it's one of their newer look rooms, which is great. It looks almost like a hybrid from a super room and a normal room. It is, I only paid the price of a normal room, but it actually has many of the features that are in a super room. You can probably hear a plane taking off at London City Airport now, actually. So things like the USB charging points and the nicer carpets and nicer wallpaper, all that kind of stuff. So it does feel a little bit like a super room, and there's also a very nice chair, which you usually only get in super rooms. So although I'm not in a super room, it is actually a lot better than a normal Travelodge standard room. One possible big issue, and I'm not really sure about this, and that's noise, because when I arrived, the receptionist said she was going to put me in a particular room, and she smiled and said, because that's one of the quieter rooms, which at the time I thought, oh, that's really nice of you. But then afterwards I got thinking and I thought, does that mean the other rooms aren't very quiet? Now I've got the window open at the moment because it's a really hot day. And the planes are very loud, so we are very close to the airport, and we're also close to the Docklands Light Railway as well. So I think when I close the window it should be okay, it shouldn't be too noisy. But I just thought I'd mention that, especially because the receptionist did say I'll give you one of the quieter rooms, which had the implication that there might be some rooms that aren't so quiet. There's an air conditioning system actually, so I might just turn that on and shut the window and then things might be okay. But I just wanted to mention there may be a possible noise issue here, depending on what room you have. There's a car park outside, which is fantastic. I can see right outside into the car park, so keep an eye on the car, that's great. As I said, public transport's great into central London, but you will have about a 20-minute walk to the station. About a 10-minute walk if you're going to Excel Conference Centre. So far, I can't really fault this room. I quite like it. It certainly was a good price compared to all the others I looked at. Unfortunately for me, I'm not actually here on business. I'm here to go to a football match at Wembley Stadium, and so I'm totally the wrong side of London from where I need to be. But I booked a hotel at the last minute, so I was scraping around for somewhere that didn't cost hundreds of pounds. And if I'd got a Travelodge at Wembley, it would have probably cost me about £200 for the night, and I haven't paid anywhere near that amount for a very nice room. So all in all, it's a bit inconvenient, but it is a nice room. Depending on how much convenience you want, depending on where you actually want to be in London, this could be a really good choice of a budget hotel that is good quality. I can recommend it for its quality, nice staff, room's great. It's just whether or not you'd want to put up with that location and the inconvenience of the walk to the station, and then the train ride into London. Other than that, I think it's great, and I'm very happy to recommend the London Excel Travelodge, and in my opinion it is one of the better Travelodges that I have stayed in London. Well, my name's Darren Bugg. I review hotels all over Britain, especially London and the big cities like Manchester. My films are mainly aimed at business travellers, although they could apply to anybody who's looking for a good quality budget hotel. Please remember to subscribe, to like, to share, all that kind of stuff. I make loads of other business films as well, and lots of other stuff besides. So I really appreciate it if you could subscribe. Until next time, happy travels, and I'll see you again soon.